So first, let's clear up this concept. God didn't just appear. God has always existed. We can prove this mathematically. Look, you shouldn't try to challenge universal truths that have already been established. For instance, it's a universal truth that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Now, if someone tries to make it 5 or 3, they're acting unjustly. Even if you were to reinvent the wheel, this mathematical equation would still remain the same. In exactly the same way, it's been established that the universe didn't exist before it came into being. You know, for a while in the 17th and 18th centuries, there was this theory of a steady state universe, that it had always been running like this. But that theory has now died out. In the era we're living in, that theory is completely finished. Not just recently, but since the Big Bang, ever since Hubble observed things through that telescope back in the 1920s. Hubble, as I mentioned, was a very famous scientist in America. When he observed the movement of stars through the telescope, and I have a detailed video on this, you can watch the one on black holes, or From Creation to Creator, where I explained who is Allah. Our brother on the Hidayah Victory channel has also added great value to it. All those videos are there. So, Hubble observed that all these celestial bodies in the universe, all the planets and stars you see in the sky have one thing in common. They're all moving away from each other. To prove this, he used the light spectrum. When an object's light spectrum gradually shifts toward red, it means it's moving away from you. So it was logical that if they're moving apart and you reverse time, then they must have started from a single point. It's like, for example, if I were to hold several small balls in my hand and then I decided to throw them one by one like this, they'd all fly away from each other in different directions. It's a universal truth, a fundamental principle, that they're moving apart simply because they all started from one single place. One common origin. It's just the way things naturally happen. It's just natural. Now, they said that if we were to reverse time going backward and reach the exact point where it all began, scientists refer to it as a point of infinite density, a singularity, where everything was compressed into an unimaginably tiny space, never ending, and the volume was absolutely zero. The volume is zero, and the density is truly infinite. This means creatio ex nihilo, which is the concept of existence arising from absolute nothingness. There was nothing at all, and then suddenly there was this. And then, as they say, after this monumental event known as the Big Bang occurred, if there had been even the slightest, tiniest disturbance within a trillionth of a second, just the smallest possible fluctuation, this universe could never have come into existence. And that's just about it coming into being. Then there are the billions of fine-tunings on planet Earth, and for every planet, the Earth's distance from the Sun, their gravitational force, their movement, their speed, it's an entire field where one can easily get lost. Considering all these things, the steady-state universe theory is finished, and the Big Bang has been established. Now, this proves creation ex nihilo has occurred, meaning that humans or the universe, they have been created. The problem for you would be if you believe that these have also existed forever, that humans have always been born, and secondly, that there is no end. Science has solved this problem for you. They said, no, creation has indeed happened. Now, whether there is a creator or not, that is what they come to discuss. Now, to understand these fine-tunings, so much intellect is required, so many brains are needed, just to understand the structure of DNA, to understand this harmony. Just to understand it, not to create it, sir. So many brains are involved, and to this day, we are only making discoveries. All these things we discover, we are discovering the laws of nature. For instance, if we have explored that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west with respect to the earth, actually, it neither truly sets nor rises. So, this is a physical phenomenon that we have discovered through observation. This phenomenon did not create the sun. This is not the creator of the sun. If you have learned that a chick comes out of an egg, and for the chick, you keep the egg warm for 22 days under a hen or in a machine. This information did not create the chick. Rather, it is information about the chick being born. You can go a bit further into it. The deeper you dig, ultimately, you will only add to your information and understanding. It won't be that you find out that this created it. Even the hen that gives birth doesn't know. The crocodile, the elephant, they don't even know what qualities they possess. One who doesn't even know their own qualities. Humans still don't know what qualities they have. Science is only just beginning to explore you. So we are not the creators of these qualities. And then there is a mind behind it in the sense that it works in an organized way. And this has definitely been established in mathematics as a feasibility, that anything functioning in such a completely organized manner must have a mind behind it. Without a mind, no one can design this. The second law of thermodynamics in physics states that entropy either remains constant or increases, meaning disorder. God forbid, if an explosion occurred here, everything would be scattered. After that, no explosion in the world could ever arrange it back into this state. This is called entropy. When disorder occurs, it increases. It's possible that if you bring in more people, this disorder will increase further or stay as it is. It cannot be reorganized unless you intervene and do it yourself. Just like in Ziyarat, where terrorists destroyed the entire museum of Muhammad Ali Jinnah and then they rebuilt it. It didn't just build itself. After the explosion, everything just scattered on its own. But to bring it back to that place, you needed a budget, a brain, you put in effort, and only then did it get organized. So this means that to create order, a brain is required. For disorder, there is no issue. And for order to be restored after disorder, a brain is needed. Sir, what kind of disorder is this? What kind of Big Bang is this? A small explosion does not organize things, it ruins them. And such a huge... Even Richard Dawkins says that, right, in The God Delusion. When Fred Hoyle's quote was cited to him, you see, Fred Hoyle was a very great thinker. Let's say not only a philosopher, but also a scientist of considerable renown. He was widely respected for his contributions to both science and philosophy, and his ideas often sparked thoughtful discussion. He had said that the spontaneous emergence of humans is a similar phenomenon. It is an even more complex phenomenon than someone claiming that a whirlwind or a tornado passed through a junkyard, picked up materials, and assembled a Boeing 747. No crazy or foolish person in this world would believe such a thing. Forget about that. No one would even believe that a ballpoint pen could be made like that. So he said a human is more complex than that. And you are believing that it was formed on its own without any brain? Okay. So do you know what answer Richard Dawkins gave to this? He wrote a chapter entitled it, The Ultimate Boeing 747. He said, then the biggest Boeing 747 is God. You are saying that a human is so complex that it cannot exist on its own without being created by someone. So the one who created it must be even more complex. That would be the ultimate Boeing 747. If such a complex human with a DNA structure, as you say, cannot be formed on its own and must be created by someone, then the one who created it is an even more complex entity. So, that creator must also have a creator. So, what did we say earlier? Hold on just a moment. Wait a minute. For the sake of argument, let's say that we agree with what you are saying right now. But let's try to move forward from here. Yes, absolutely. That creator who must have created our creator, surely he would be an even more complex creator than our creator. So then he must also have a creator. Now, you can keep going until the end of time. This equation will never end until there is one creator who was not created by anyone. And that is exactly what he neither begets nor is born means. The definition is right there in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Sir, this can actually explain mathematics to you, and it can also explain physics to you. What a profound definition this is. In our childhood, we just memorized it as he has no father and no son. But that's just a moralistic translation we're using, isn't it? The actual translation is that he himself did not come from anyone, nor did anyone come from him. He has always existed. That's why there's a hadith in Bukhari and Muslim that Satan comes to you and asks thee, who created the mountains? You say Allah. He asks, who created the trees? You say Allah. You say this as an answer when he asks the question. Then he asks various questions. And you say Allah. At the end he asks, who created Allah? Now at this point you must say he is Allah, the one. Allah, the eternal refuge. He neither begets nor is he begotten, and there is none co-equal unto him. Obviously the Prophet, peace be upon him, could only say that much, right? Allah Almighty has made him the leader for our guidance, okay? But later, when Allah Almighty allowed humans to discover these mathematical equations, scientific discoveries, and these universal truths, we can now explain it further with great ease. That if there is a creator of the creator, then he too must have a creator. And in this way, an endless cycle, you could say, would begin. You have to accept. Well, now you might be wondering why we must accept that there should be one such being who's... We have to accept this because on the other hand, the equation is physically present before me, that I exist. Creation exists. If it were just a theory where neither creation nor a creator existed, then nothing would compel us. Now, our compulsion is that the universe is right before us. We are living creatures. We are seeing everything. Created things exist, so we must look at the other angle and ultimately stop at one creator who has no creator of his own. That's why I've said many times in my videos, if you ask me which quality of Allah Almighty is beyond imagination, for which you cannot even provide an example. Look, if Allah Almighty says, I hear, I see, we can form a vague concept of it thinking, I also hear and see. Even though what I have is only borrowed while Allah's is truly inherent. Mine is always limited. Allah's is absolutely unlimited. Mine is dependent on other things. Allah's is completely independent. You can imagine everything. But this quality of Allah, that He has always existed, there was never a time when He was not there. This is such a bottomless pit, a concept in which even if you drown, you won't be able to find any end to it. Okay? And this is such a quality of Allah. Anyway, we cannot share this quality with Allah, but look at His other quality, that He is eternal. He has shared that with you. While maintaining the distinction between creator and creation, He has destined eternal life for you in paradise. That is, the quality of having always existed cannot be shared. But the quality of existing forever, He has granted that to you. See, this is the concept that should make you love Allah. Look, He was alone, yet He associated you with Himself. In the sense that while the creator-creation divide remains, look at the blessings He will give you in paradise. You will just desire something, and it will appear before you. That is why I devised the term mini-God, while keeping the creator-creation distinction, just to explain this. They devised their own concept of unity of existence, even though existence besides Allah, I also exist, but we never called them disbelievers. They explain that unity of existence means only one true existence exists and He created the rest. Though that is not actually their view. They say everything else is a part of Him. We say, fine, let's not assume the worst. Now, we did not label the concept of unity of existence as disbelief or polytheism just because they said so. Although we could have issued a decree because once someone provides their own explanation, a decree is no longer applicable. But they issued decrees against us, saying this happened or that happened. And then look, Mufti Saeed also said, brother, everyone will have their own little divinities. So there it is. And now even more than that, they say that in paradise, you will get things by praying, not through desire or be, and it is. Sir, it is indeed desire, and you should not even talk. You claim your saints can change things in this world just with a glance. You claim they can do it in this world with just a glance, without even praying. Is there any record of Abdul Qadir Jilani praying to bring the dead back to life? No, he just said, arise. You already believe in be and it is in this world, and yet you accuse us of polytheism for believing in be and it is, even in paradise? You already accept this polytheism regarding all your saints in this world, which is all a lie anyway. We are talking about the hereafter, where be and it is means that after you desire it, that thing will appear before you. If they wish, they can transform the world with just a gesture. Yes, if this is the state of the servants, imagine the state of the master, with gestures, not prayers. And they tell us that in paradise, things will only come after prayer, not through gestures. You have made your own hell in this world by holding such beliefs. And what is real is indeed real, God willing. Yes, perhaps it is not for you or for those you follow. That is why you are not ready to accept it. For us, it certainly exists, God willing. God willing.